Hello vetmates, hello world. This is Diane Jane Villamayor and today we will be discussing practical feed formulation. So, our objectives for today's discussion are: at the end of the discussion, you can define practical feed formulation, know the feeds, essential nutrients needed in practical feed formulation and rations, and understand the importance of practical feed formulation. Feed is the most important input for poultry production, and the availability of low-priced, high-quality feed is critical for the expansion of poultry industry. For maximum performance and good health, poultry need a steady supply of energy, protein, essential amino acid, mineral, and most important, water. Before we discuss what is practical feed formulation, let me define what is feed formulation. It is the process of quantifying the amounts of feed ingredients that need to be combined to form a single uniform mixture for poultry to supply all of their nutrient requirement. Let me define practical feed formulation. It refers to the exercise of determining volumes of ingredients and additives to blend in order to create compound feeds that meet the known goals at an optimized cost. Now, different kinds of poultry feeds. First, wheat, one of the best grains for poultry feeding. Next, oats, vary considerably in feeding value due to difference in hull. Next, corn is a very desirable grain feed whole, cracked, or ground. Next, fish oil are used in chicks ration, in winter laying rations, and in rations for producing egg for hatching, as a source of vitamin A and D. Last, millet may use to good advantage in growing, laying, and fattening ration. Now, essential nutrients needed in practical feed formulation. We have 6 essential nutrients needed in practical formulation. First, water. Birds can live longer without food than water. Next, protein. The most expensive feed material, but one most likely to bring profitable result if properly used. Next, carbohydrates. They supply fuel and energy. The excess is going to form fat in the body or egg. Next is fat. Some fats is present in particularly all feed materials. Next, mineral. Calcium carbonate in the presence of vitamin D forms most of the egg shells. Last, the vitamins are organic compounds required in extremely small quantities but essential for normal growth, health, and productivity. Now, rations for growing chickens. Let's start to starter rations. Young chicks require a diet rich in protein and a certain vitamins with a carefully balanced mineral content. Choose a brand that is flaky or mealy, avoiding the less palatable, finely ground mixture that tend to paste inside the chick's mouth. Start feeding the chicks as soon as they want to eat and provide a constant supply of fresh drinking water in clean chick fountains. The formula is an example for practical feed formulation for chick starter. Another example for chick starter. It is suitable if chicks will have a good pasture at 2 or 3 weeks of age. Next is growing rations. After the chicks are 5 to 6 weeks old, they may be changed gradually to a coarser and cheaper mixture. Next is ration for breeding stock. A ration suitable for egg production is not necessarily satisfactory for breeding flock. To obtain high hatchability, the riboflavin content of the feed must be greatly increased. The flock should receive the breeder diet a full 6 weeks or 2 months prior to saving the first egg for hatching. Next is fattening rations. Flesh is produced during the growing season, and if lost through improper and insufficient feeding, it is difficult to regain. Provide plenty of green succulent feed during growing season. Also, plenty of milk or water to drink. The formula in here is an example of practical feed formulation for fattening flocks. Lastly, rations for laying hens. Laying hens require some forms of protein supplement in addition to grain and chop. Similarly, they need more vitamins and mineral than grain content. Some form of vitamin D supplement for indoor conditions. Hens aren't likely to drink enough milk in cold weather to supply their protein requirements. Laying hens require a constant supply of fresh, clean drinking water at all times. And for our last objective, Why is practical feed formulation important? Practical feed formulation is important to maximize the profit and reduce cost of production and to meet the target weight within a specific period of time. That's the end of my discussion. I hope you learned new things about poultry, vetmates. See ya! Kagaak!